good morning, maybe. I think it's actually afternoon now, and why not do another video on track somewhere else? So, on track. Yeah. So I'm off somewhere else now, and the weather's pretty rubbish, and I've also got some toothache that's driving me crazy. It's my fault because I've eaten a load of chocolate in recent times, and I had an iron brew. Not an iron brew, my brain is gone today. I had a Red Bull even. So iron brew's not usually that bad. And so yeah, so what it's done is it's removed the top layer of my enamel or whatever was covering my nerve, and now my nerves feel exposed. So I've got to avoid things of different temperatures. A warm drink's okay. Cold drink probably go right into the jaw. And what else to avoid? Sugar, definitely. That would just be pure agony if you just have a load of sugar. And just keep it clean, clean it up a bit. So, I mean, last night I used a bit of, I had my cannabis type plant. Well, it is a cannabis plant. Hemp, if you want to call it that, makes things easier. Because it's just a plant, really. So the dried up leaves have already got the THC, they've gone into that mode. So all I did is take one off and chewed on it where the tooth was, and it pretty much went away straight away, the pain. And then I just brushed the teeth out later on with a bit of bicarbonate soda, and then I made myself a small amount of colloidal silver and just sort of swished it around there, so I could sleep basically. I was at night. I don't want to take ibuprofen and other things because I'm going to go to sleep on an empty stomach, and they mess around with your ability to make bicarbonate in your own body that you use to stop acid influx or something like that. Well, they neutralise your body to even realise, so you end up using your stomach acid ends up attacking your body. Isn't very good. So if you've got a funny old body, it attacks itself. It's like swings and balances, I guess. A bit like the immune system and everything else. That when it's in balance, it's brilliant. But when it's out of balance, it's quite destructive. So yeah, that's my little problem I've been dealing with recently. Some other interesting things I've observed. If you don't fall in love often, you never notice these things really, or maybe you don't so much. But I had something where I'd had some feelings for someone, and I noticed when you have an emotional things like trauma and things like that, you can feel it in certain parts of your body, like in your chest. It's a part of your nervous system, so you've got a neural network run through your body. One is to do with your sensory of things around you and feeding back temperature and pressure and other stuff, information, blood pressure, where your muscles are, holding positions, all sorts of things. Tension in your body, your weight, your balance, all this information feeds back. I mean, you know your ears tell you where you are, but I'm sure your body also uses that information to calibrate how you position your body. So, I mean, that's normal stuff, but then you've got these other things whereby it's like an entity growing inside you. So you have an emotional attachment to someone, whether you wanted it or not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all good, isn't it? All love's good. So you find that it may start one side part of your body and sort of spread further into you. It's a bit odd. So so for me it's on my left side, so that would be with my heart meridian, and the sensation seems to have gone further down into my body, so it's probably connecting to my stomach as well, so that's great. So you can so I feel other different sensations when I'm around the person properly. and adrenal gland as well. So you have so that'll be active at certain points. If I become like a need to support or protect or something, it'll probably boost my activity. So I mean, there's pros and there's cons to things like falling in love. It's a bit parasitic, and you just need to manage it very well, and you can get the benefits from it. Otherwise, potentially, it can be quite destructive if you don't work with it psychologically and try to balance yourself. Because it's almost like you're nurturing a new consciousness. You've created something. Even if it feels like it's like an AI or it's artificial, it's not really. It's how the universe works. In that we're creating consciousness. Everything we do each day, we're creating consciousness. And the idea that somehow God and us are separate beings, we're not in that sense. Or if we are, we're just reflections, and that we mirror, you know, what we do with our dreams. It's like creating a new different universe, and things from feelings and how your consciousness works together creates new things. I come across some other new information, and basically, you know, you got to try to find your own religion. What does that mean into that? And it could be anything, because there's just so much religion out there already. And you're bound to believe something similar to something out there. But I come across something, and the word's been in my mind before. It's called Shen-Ra. Now, Shen, I only recently found out is like Chinese for God. So Shen-Ra, and Ra is sort of light, but that's also God as well. So you've got Shen, which is the consciousness, and Ra is the light. So the two fundamentally create things, them two forces in the universe. So that's why it's Shen-Ra. And in the same way, if we create something in our consciousness and we bring it forth into the light, then we kind of create it into a reality. A bit like I'm talking about something, an internal feeling, and some people may be able to relate to that, or maybe they're thinking about it now. So I've created something beyond my dimension into your dimension of form. And who knows? So when I pass away, and I've got these different conscious constructs, do they just leave me? Do they drift away in somewhere else? You know, maybe they're kind of like ghosts in that sense. Attachments. But they're growing, they're consciousness, they're programs, they're alive. So everything's kind of alive within inside you. I've mentioned before about the mind's all sort of split up in these different departments. So you're a group of consciousness working in one unison. When imbalances occur, then they start fragmenting or acting outside of the box. I mean, it's a bit like when I talk on these videos. Sometimes it's just me talking, other times it's other entities are talking with me, sort of channeling thoughts into me. So a lot of people say higher selves, but it's probably the other selves that you don't normally access in your conscious state. So it's drifting into different levels. And sort of accessing other resources. I mean, it's like people talk about guide levels. So are these guides, are they, you know, because they don't see guide levels as themselves, they see guide levels as other beings and represent other things, or they give them a form. They basically, that expression of their thoughts is giving it a form in some way. They're not see, yeah, like I say, they rarely would see themselves reflected. Maybe they'll see themselves as a previous life. So maybe these are, like I just mentioned, they were grown from a consciousness at a different stage. And it's like with plants, you know, the tree of life. So the idea is that maybe these are consciousness of branches, and then they've seeded themselves, and then they've kind of returned in some way back into your own, you know, new self maybe, or a different version of yourself. I would say a different time frame, but it's not really, because outside this consciousness, time may be irrelevant. So when you think of one thing here, you're thinking this thought is travelling into all of your previous lives, and it may be travelling to the future as well. So what you do today will change this tomorrow and the past. So it's all very interesting stuff. But there's also the idea of a continuum. and that some things you may not be able to change because it needs to play out a particular way. You know, just be like a different version, or you may be able to cope better with it, rather than sort of being engulfed in emotion. Yeah. All those crazy busy days. Just trying to think back to what I was chatting about, slipping into all sorts of things. So I mentioned about the Shen-Ra, and I guess it can be a Ra Shen as well. Reality, consciousness creating reality, and reality creating consciousness. So there's a concept, and then by people's understanding, that is evolution. It has to have an intelligent basis behind it at some level. It's just, if it's too big and too complicated, you can't see the full magnitude of it, really. You know, this is why people find it difficult to comprehend. You know, are we spinning or are we not on our planet, and all these other things. A big enough scale, anything's possible. So we just don't know enough about our universe. Yeah, that's right. What it was some information did come through from a deep part of my consciousness, is that I guess from here, where your consciousness may sprout into something, into a higher form, you may become a star, you may become planets and stars and moons. And the idea is you kind of have a spiritual influence over things, and your consciousness can drift. So a bit like when people, you know, they ask God, God is a manifestation of a sort of entity, one entity, and they ask for help or support. They may be generally asking just the spirit world for help or support, and then anything that wants to get involved does. Not everything does, at different levels. Depends on that being's or that entity's understanding, you know, where they play the role in the universe. If it's a darker being, they might want some kind of return on helping you out. So they might want to play a role in your life, but be able to do what they will. They won't ask for permission. They just turn up in your dreams and do other things with you. May influence people around you as well. You might be interested in sort of the human experiment, you know, that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting if consciousness went to the point of being a sun, because then it goes into the Ra side of things, is that your light is regenerating and generating the universe around it. That's why it's interesting to think outside of our solar system. You know, is there anything out there? Have you got to be in a proximity to the sun? You know, it could be like a snow globe or something. So it could be the matrix. Is there a limit to the matrix? Or is there systems in there, systems in place? And that kind of controls how we are. It's a bit like the reach of our consciousness. It's what we can comprehend, but we create the reality around us, and equally there's a kind of an internal one's created as well. There's also the question, is there anything really around us anyway? Is it just projections of thought and light, and actually it has something like a server playing a role. So if I create something, I'm the player. If I create the actual reality around me, the server decides if that's actually a probability and if it can take place. And it may get to a point where reality kind of crashes. I guess people die. You know, there are some people that just instant death syndrome. They just die on the spot. Reality is very unusual, and then you've got the different complexities of, like, your organs have all got their own consciousness. Your mind's fragmented at different levels. So each chakra is a consciousness, really. That's a spiritual consciousness. So it's quite diverse in that sense. what reality is. So yeah, anyways, I'm having a bit of a ramble today. Just trying to dig deeper into understandings and make deeper connections. Recently I've got a kratom and I've been trying to grow it. It's going to take a long time to grow. I'm wondering if I need to put a different light source on it. I got a stronger light, so I just want it to actually grow. I'm told if the humidity and so on's not quite right, it won't grow. So it may be that the plant's in a form of shock if that's true, and therefore it needs to adapt to this environment. Either that, I could take it in the bathroom when I'm having a bath or something like that, and that boosts its humidity. I could put a bag over it, but I don't want it stuffed in a bag. I'm trying to increase its humidity so it grows a bit more. Just one of them things, if you take something from a different environment, I just see if I can get it to adapt. I've looked at buying kratom. It's not massively expensive, it's not cheap. You could buy like a kilogram, but it cost about £45, or if it's about $60. If you get free, you can get a discount. Depends where you look. You got to look around. Oh, there's some people selling stuff like 200 grams, and they want £20 for it, so it's quite a lot of money really. And that's take care of some health problems. I think it just helped me get focused back on track. Maybe just use a boost of energy and just like work out extra hard on that particular day. And then just use it as a kind of recovery bit as well. And I've got a friend who may benefit from it as well, so I'll give her some. There's possibly the option of buying another one. I'm going to buy the green vein. I've got a red vein at the moment. And then just grow them. My other hemp plants are doing alright. They're not doing brilliantly, they're doing okay. They get quite long and stringy in this environment, not unless I put them under some type of special lamp. They basically are stretching out because they think, there's not enough light and not enough heat because of where they are. So if they stretch out, they get more heat, and so it's just like a survival thing. Once they get past a certain point, they thicken up and it's not a problem, and then they start increasing their leaves. That's what we need to do really, is just increase the leaves, not have a little one with a long neck, because they're not trying to get out the shade of other plants, because there isn't any there. But when they've got a long neck, it means if you move the pot around, you can end up, basically they just buckle over. So yeah, just trying to think of anything else I wanted to talk about in my little trek. Probably not really. So this is Pigsy signing off, and have a great day.